With analysts predicting that more metros are likely to form coalitions, are politicians willing to stay in power, entering into marriages of convenience, no matter the cost, and despite their ideological differences? But what do the city's residents think of coalition governments?
No, my dear, no coalition has worked for me. Everything is still the same. No service delivery, our streets are still dirty, street kids up and down, and it's so unsafe to walk in Braamfontein. We don't even see a police patrolling here, so I don't see anything. Everything is still the same.
I think they were considering the fact that currently we've got so much happening in terms of service delivery and people are not outrightly happy with the government. So maybe it allows the other guys to come in and to bring in new ideas and better ways in which we can make the country and Johannesburg better.
The Johannesburg Metro has been governed by coalitions since the 2016 municipal elections. However, there are differing views as to whether coalitions enable or hamper service delivery. Political analysts are predicting that the current in large metros like the city of Johannesburg will be the norm for at least another 5 years. This is what the last municipal election reflected. The ANC took 45% of the vote to the DA's 38%. The EFF held the balance of power in Johannesburg with 30% of the vote, with neither the DA or the ANC able to control council, even with the help of all other parties without the EFF. Initially, the DA entered into a coalition with smaller parties, as well as an agreement with the economic freedom fighters. This led to then DA mayoral candidate Herman Mashaba being appointed after winning a council election. Local government expert Professor Susan Boyson reckons the ANC has something to do with this.
We are quite probably going to see more coalitions coming out of these local government elections. The main reason for this is that the ANC, as currently still dominant party, is not on an upward trajectory. Instead, on a jagged curve, it is on a downward trajectory. And that means that more support is loosening up and that the ANC is potentially ceding more of its majorities. And once it does not reach that 50% outright majority level anymore, on its own, it obviously has to rely on coalition partners.
Political analyst and Deputy Vice-Chancellor at the University of Zululand, Professor Sipho Siepe, says the challenge with coalition governments is that parties to this arrangement have to reach a consensus before executing any mandate, and that this tends to prolong and affect service delivery. Siepe says if parties work together, like during the DA-led coalition in Johannesburg under Mashaba, there's a possibility of cohesion.
People like Mashaba in Johannesburg, they've provided a different experience where he was able to work both with the ANC and the EFF. Initially, the posture of the ANC was to be hostile to Mashaba, to act as an opposition party and to oppose whatever he stands for. But what Mashaba did was simply to focus on what may be a common agenda. And that common agenda was to say, let us fix the city. Let us address the issues that are pertinent to the people.
Kiribone Diale, the chairperson of the Standing Committee on COGTA in the Gauteng legislature, says coalitions create instability and frustrate service delivery provision.
In the case of City of Joburg, we've seen a DA-led coalition with the EFF, and the two parties are a bit miles apart ideologically. And the EFF has been, or during the Mashaba era, was influencing what becomes the decisions of governance or of the council in the municipality. And to a larger extent, some of the decisions the municipality found itself not well resourced to can implement. We know that people of Lenasia, some are complaining about land invasion, some are saying they need land, and we've seen in City of Joburg where those who were running government had a different view, and those who were the kingmakers also had a different view, and actually encouraging people to grab land wherever they see it. And when the other party that was in charge of government had a different view, but at the end of the day, then everything was allowed to happen, and lawlessness happened in Johannesburg that really affected the people of Johannesburg.
The question is, will one party emerge to wrest control of the city of Johannesburg, or will the populace be guests at another marriage of convenience? Chriselda, SABC News in Johannesburg.